What do you think is the most important trait to instill in a child?
Probably two things. One, I always say to my boys, kindness. I think in a world, being able to share kindness because you don't know what someone else is going through, I think is one of the first. And then also having a sense of being able to, you have a bad day, something maybe didn't go your way. This is where our ideas of having a dance party, kind of trying to shake up your day. It's okay that you had a bad day. You can shake it off and start fresh. And so I think a combination of those two things, being able to instill those in my children has been very important for me and my husband.
Welcome to Single Parent Success Stories, a podcast designed to inspire single parents. Here you'll find resources from self-care to finances to parenting and everything in between. Discover what it takes to thrive. Let the stories inspire you to what is possible.
Before we start the next conversation, I want to invite you to check out my amazing book, The Gift Inside, a powerful guide for healing your body, mind, and soul. Reclaim your strengths and awaken your true potential. Whether you are navigating heartbreak or simply seeking deeper fulfillment, this book offers the tools to turn your struggles into triumphs. It is time to unlock the gift within you. Available now on Amazon, or you can check it out on my website www.irinashehovtsov.com. Hello and welcome to Single Parent Success Stories. Today we have a special guest, Lynsey Martin. She is an Austin-based author, a mom of 2 young boys, and she's doing a pajama party lunchbook celebration, the release of How to Get an Alligator Out of the Bathtub. Inspired by her own children's imaginative adventures, Lynsey brings the charming character Alistair the alligator to life in this delightful and laugh out loud story. Welcome, Lynsey. It is a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Irina. It's such a pleasure to be here, and thank you so much for having me on today. I'm so excited to talk with you and to share the story of how Alistair and my boys met.
Yeah. So please share with us who you are outside of my introduction.
Yes. So I am a children's book author, an event designer. I am a former preschool teacher, and most importantly, a mom of 2 boys. I've always loved storytelling since I was a little girl. So I feel like it's sort of been a passion of mine that I've carried throughout my whole life. And I'm so excited that I am now able to share that passion with everyone, bringing imagination, warmth, and sometimes a little bit of chaos to life in the pages of this book in particular.
Beautiful. Thank you. I love that. What makes you happy?
It's a good question. Well, I feel like as moms, there's so many different things, but first and foremost, definitely spending time with my husband, my boys. That's truly the thing I love the most. Being outside, I love being outside. I think especially it's what drew me here to Austin. I love hiking, being outdoors, laughing, having dance parties with my boys. We do a lot of dance parties in the living room, finding just those little moments with them. And then obviously writing, that brings me quite a bit of joy. So just being able to create those memories and connections, that's what really brings me joy.
Nice. Thank you. What are you hoping to bring to the children when you wrote this book?
The idea of being able to bring my love of storytelling to life, obviously that's why I wanted to publish this book. But from that, and as I've done readings at schools and just shared the story with my friends and their children, it's actually seeing that creativity come to life through their children. And their children have started writing stories that they love, and they've started sharing them with me. And some of the children have brought illustrations and, their own ideas to life from that. And just seeing that spark of creativity from a book that I created, I couldn't be more overjoyed to be able to see that come to life in other children and as well as my own children. So I think that's been something that is truly special in this whole experience.
Awesome. I love that. I think it's important to infuse creativity and to keep it alive because I believe there was studies done when kids enter school, how much creativity they have. It's like 98%. And when they leave school, it's only 2% because all of that is being funneled out, taken away. And
Exactly. Exactly. And like I said, it's not something that I actually even thought of. And I have to say, when I've had friends texting me, I had another friend ask if her son wants me to take a look at his story. And it warms my heart to see them putting down the video games, turning off the TV and being able to open their minds up to a world within their own minds that they maybe didn't know existed. So it's truly, it's been a special sort of surprise that's come along the way.
yeah. How did you decide on a character and a story?
Yes, so Alistair came about. We are members of the Austin Zoo. And so a couple summers ago, we were there almost every other week. We were there quite a bit. My boys really love it there. And we would go and see the alligators at the zoo, and they would keep asking me all these questions about them. And a couple times they asked me, well, could we bring the alligators home? Why can't we bring them home? Let's have them come with us. And that's sort of what sparked this idea of, oh, well, what if we found an alligator at home? What if we did bring him home? What would that look like? And so from there, this sort of concept of Alistair and finding him in the bathtub and why is he in our bathtub? That's how that all came to fruition.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
Awesome. What was the best part about writing this book?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. I mean, part of it, truthfully, was I had the boys very involved when I was writing the story. And so I'd ask them things of, well, what if this happened? What would you do? Or I'd, have them sort of give me ideas of what could happen next. And then they'd kind of create their own little story from there. And it definitely became this sort of like fun project that we worked on. And then as I finished it and sort of went through all the editing and then started the illustrations, they had so much fun watching it all come to life and seeing it from pencil sketches to actual color illustrations. And so truthfully, I've just loved sharing this experience with my boys and being able for them to see this whole process together.
Oh, wow, that's incredible, I think, to have something like an idea and then your kids able to participate and see how idea comes to life through first ideation process and then all the stages that you go through when you create a book. And yeah, it's incredible that, being part of that journey and
Yes,
having them participate in that. Awesome.
exactly. And I had never been through it, so it was truthfully very fun to experience it with them for myself the first time and for them to see me going through this process as well.
Yeah. What do you think is the most important trait to instill in a child?
Probably two things. One, I always say to my boys, kindness. I think in a world, being able to share kindness because you don't know what someone else is going through, I think is one of the first. And then also having a sense of being able to, you have a bad day, something maybe didn't go your way. This is where our ideas of having a dance party, kind of trying to shake up your day. It's okay that you had a bad day. You can shake it off and start fresh. And so I think a combination of those two things, being able to instill those in my children has been very important for me and my husband.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you're so right. Thank you. earlier when you spoke, and I guess the purpose of your book is making routines fun again.
Yes.
Why don't you share a little bit about that?
Yes. So I always going to say I have two boys, obviously. One loved bath time when he was a little boy, my oldest. My youngest loves it now. It was definitely not his favorite thing when he was little. So I think being able to bring in a bit of fun, and that doesn't mean you have to go buy bath toys or all these different things. Like I said, honestly, we use a lot of music in our house to kind of you're not feeling so happy, so turn on some fun music and just see how that changes your perspective on what happened. I was just talking with a friend and we were saying, maybe give it 5 minutes, and in 5 minutes turn on some music, go on a walk. Your whole perspective could shift in just those 5 minutes. So sort of the same concept with bath time. We tried making it more of, we would joke, it was like a dance party. So we turn off the lights and we bring in some fun, neon lights and turn on some music, and he loves it now. So this concept of finding an alligator in the bathtub, well, that just brings a whole other idea of fun and something different. And also a way of, I think, which is important, problem solving for kids. I liked the concept of the boys working together through this step-by-step process of maybe your first idea isn't going to be the winner, but you keep trying until you get to an idea that actually helps solve whatever the problem is.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Opening up this ideation and not giving up when, let's say, something doesn't work out.
Yes.
Let's try something else. Let's do something else and keep that going. Sometimes, like when we start, we might not end up with what we decided upon, and we gotta modify our plan or our creation process. And I love that,
Always. You always
making it.
keeping those ideas flowing. And like you said, yes, sometimes you think you have a winning concept, but then maybe you have to change it slightly. So yes, never giving up on that.
Yeah. And I love how you're saying, we can change our mood, we can change how we feel by simply turning on music or taking ourselves out on a walk. And same with kids, kind of helping them or teaching them how to deal with big emotions, or when
Yes.
something is not working out, instead of getting frustrated and digging yourself in the corner, looking for other solutions and switching that frame of mind and being able to navigate this wonderful journey we call life.
Yeah, exactly. It's the frustration actually I've seen, especially when I was teaching, it's that frustration of just they're frustrated, but you teaching them how to get to that next step, because the frustration necessarily isn't it's not bad. It's something you just work through. And so getting them to that, figuring out that how to get through portion, that's what I find really, honestly, once I've seen my older son and he started to figure those parts out, it's really rewarding as a parent to see them implementing those and figuring that out. That's truly, it's very rewarding and just makes my heart happy.
Yeah. Thank you. And another idea, you mentioned, that's turning kids' ideas into something kind of worthwhile, something productive. And this book, how you came up with this, is the idea that a simple question could spark this whole journey that you are now in.
I know. It's been a wonderful journey, especially with not just writing the book, but my publisher, Ashley and Jeff. They've been amazing through this whole journey at Mama Bear Books. I cannot thank them enough. They've just been there step by step, helping through that process, guiding me, teaching me, and it's been truly rewarding, and I'm so grateful.
Yeah, yeah. What kind of advice would you share with single parents from
Yeah.
perspective of you being a parent, you being a
Yes.
writer, and
Absolutely. Well, yes, while I'm not a single parent myself, I greatly admire the strength and the heart that it takes to carry so much. And so with that, I would say, I guess my advice to any parent and any single parent as well, especially those doing everything all on their own, is just to be kind to yourself. I feel like, as I mentioned, that sort of kindness as parents, we are spreading that to our children and to so many different people. Sometimes we forget about ourselves. And so I would say, you're not meant to do everything perfectly all the time. And that's maybe one way you can just start with having some grace and kindness over yourself. Sort of the concept, I guess, of grace over guilt, so that you don't have to always feel like you have to do it perfectly all the time.
I think that's very good advice, because we always live in that perfection mind frame, and
Yes.
but we are not perfect. We are human. We all make mistakes, and having the grace and ability to go easy on yourself and give yourself that grace, give yourself permission to make mistakes, and then recover from them and make a
Exactly.
different choice next time. Sorry.
Exactly. That alone, I think, is a great example to our children to show how we can even recover when we make a mistake. I think that's very important for children to see. So I think it helps in both ways. So show yourself some kindness as well as parents.
Yeah, thank you. Are there any books that inspired your journey?
There is, yes, there's quite a few. I have one that my boys and I, we read all the time, and it's The Little Penguin's Tale. It's a book I read as a child, and I just fell in love with it. And sort of that book sort of inspired my love of children's books in general. My parents started collecting them, and then as I got older, as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I was so excited to go to the bookstore and start creating my own collection. And so from there, it sort of just sparked this love of children's books and books in general.
Beautiful. How do you inspire or encourage a love of reading for children?
I would say, truthfully, make reading a fun experience. For us, it's bedtime stories. It's my favorite time with my boys. It's one of the few times my oldest will snuggle with me now anymore as they get older. But it's just a time where it's very special. And for us, having a book, snuggling, picking out what book that is, it's truly fun. And then as they get older, taking them to the library, the bookstore, letting them pick out things that inspire them, stories that spark their imagination or that feel exciting to them. We love to go and pick a book all together, and then I'll read it sometimes to both of them, or they get to pick individually, but just sort of making it an experience. That's what I feel like helps create the ideal situation to want them to have them want to read and to love reading.
Yeah, making it fun. How they say, if you're not doing it, if it's not fun when you're doing it, then you're doing it wrong.
Yes, exactly.
And sometimes adding that kind of this fun idea, a fun way of doing something can promote more of you wanting to do that, as opposed to
Exactly.
you have to do it because this is the material, you got to learn it, you got to do it. But if there is no purpose behind it, like, why am I learning this? And especially for kids, like for adults, we understand, like, we need to get this job, or we kind of, it will expand our career. But how would you do that for kids? And for kids, I think that the aspect of curiosity, the aspect of making it fun, that's what makes it kind of easier in the end
Absolutely.
of the day.
No, absolutely. You made a great point. It's the joy that they get from it, and then they want to do it again, and getting that sort of feeling of, oh, this is so fun. This is awesome. Yes, I want to go pick another book. Yes, I want to go read another story. As you said, the joy makes them want to do it again.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, how would you, I call it, what is your superpower if you had to pick one?
Ooh, that is a good question. I would say a superpower I would say I feel like I like to have is turning chaos into connection and fun. I like to try and turn moments where I'm sure every parent has felt this where it's just, it's sort of that 5 o'clock hour, things are starting to unravel, and you're thinking, okay, how do I turn this around? So that's truthfully when a lot of times Fridays we'll try and unplug, we'll turn on the music, we'll just start dancing. So I like to try and turn those moments when it feels chaotic into something fun or that we can do together so that it doesn't go down the other path where people get tired and upset and things like that. Doesn't always work out, but I would say that's something I would say I like to think of as my superpower.
Yeah, that's pretty cool superpower. Making it fun, making it great.
Yes.
Yeah. You mentioned also previously when we spoken that you moved from Southern California to Texas. So how does the moving shaped your writing?
Yes. Well, correct, I moved here to Austin, Texas, from Southern California 8 years ago. And it actually gave me the opportunity to write because when we moved here, I had quit my job to stay home with my boys. And I was with them for 7 years. I just went back to work about a year ago, but it gave me the opportunity to sort of, I would say, be brave enough to try the process. I had tried a few times over the years, but I never really, I would say, gave my 100% to put it all in there and really try to make it possible. And so being able to actually put myself out there and see if I could get this book actually published, not just sending out a few emails, but things like that. I would say it actually made it possible for me to start this process. So I'm very grateful for that.
So what do you think was the catalyst that kind of said, okay, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to do this for real.
Yes, because I have a whole file on my computer of all these stories. Some I finished, some I didn't. And like I said, I sent out a few over the years and I had tried this and that, but I never really went 100% in. And this one, I just thought, you know what, this would be a really awesome thing. It was a New Year's resolution, which I don't normally do that, but it was a New Year's resolution one year. And I said, I'm going to get a book published. I will do it. And, it worked. I had asked for advice from a few, family friends. One of them is an author. And then I started looking into different groups and I sat and listened to many podcasts and interviews and things like that of other people who had done it. And so from there, it just kept sort of spiraling to help me figure out how to pinpoint, okay, this is my goal. I'm just going to keep trying to move that needle forward little by little until I get there. And eventually I met Ashley and through a neighborhood group, and she was promoting a book. And so from there, we ended up talking for a few months and then eventually met, and the rest is history.
Wow, I love it. It's actually one of the kind of, sometimes we set New Year resolutions and by the time February comes around, they're in the dust. But you made it possible. You kept it going and you were able to realize it. So yay, awesome. So
Yes.
is the book already out or is it coming soon?
Yes, so the book is launching on May 6th. So next week, I'm very excited. And it will be available on Mama Bear Books as well as Amazon and a few other vendors. But I'm very excited to share it with everybody. It's still available for pre-order right now, but it will be live on May 6th.
Wow, that's incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's such an exciting opportunity, and just to be able to, have that thing like from your idea to have it physically in your hands and being able to do that. Are there any more books for you? Are you gonna do more kids books or are you gonna switch?
Yes, so I do have another one in the works. I'm going through another round of sort of editing and tweaking and changing things a little bit, but I do have one in the works and I have a couple ideas for another book after that. So stay tuned, but hopefully there will be more ahead.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Is there anything I haven't asked that you would like to share?
I feel like not that I can think of right now. I want to thank you so much for this opportunity to have me on here and to share my story and my journey with you and everyone that listens and follows along with you. So thank you so much for having me on. I just greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. And where people can find you and learn more about you?
Yes, on Instagram, so at Lynsey Martin author, I share details of how to buy the book, following along on my journey, and then as we go along, hopefully new stories to come.
Awesome, awesome. And we'll include everything in episode notes. Thank you so much for coming and congratulations on the book. It is incredible. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a pleasure.
It's such a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.